Hey guys, Lucian here for ROG Show. Now I have some new gear I want to show to you today, and that's this build that I'm standing next to. This is an X470 ITX build, so if that's something you're planning or something you're interested in, you're going to want to see. I'll go over all the specs inside, as well as my build experience when I put this together. Now, the reason I'm making this ITX build is because I need a PC for video editing. So what I need is a really high-end multi-core CPU. So we went with the Ryzen 2700X inside of our motherboard. And I also need graphics power. I do use some GPU power for video effects and for my rendering output, and for gameplay recording. So I went with the Ares Vega 64. It's definitely going to be powerful enough for my needs. Now, the reason we went with ITX is because I need something that's a little smaller to fit on my desk. Now, right now, I have like a full-size chassis, like a full tower chassis on my desk. It's way too big. Like I can't even fit my monitor in front of the chassis. It's a nightmare. So this is going to sit really nicely in the corner of my desk and provide all the power I need without taking up a whole bunch of space. I think a lot of things in the industry have kind of come together to enable ITX builds in a bigger way than ever before. And manufacturers like Fantech are making beautiful chassis like this one. So I think it's a really good time to think about moving to ITX. Now, when I was building this, my coworker and I, we did run into some issues. One thing is you have to be really careful ahead of time what kind of specs and size everything is to make sure it's going to fit in this chassis. So a lot of ITX chassis, for example, don't support a full-size PSU. You need to get an SFX-sized power supply. This one, fortunately, does support a full size, and I need all the power to power the Vega 64 and the 2700X. I mean, this is like a high-powered gaming system, so I do need all that power. So I have an 850-watt power supply in this chassis, and it's full size. It's not SFX. So just check your chassis ahead of time and make sure it has the specs that you need. Let's go through the spec list. So starting at the top, we have an ROG Strix X470i gaming motherboard. This is a perfect choice if you're going to build an ITX system. It has all the features of the normal size board, the F. If you're looking for mainstream ITX board, definitely check out this Strix board. It's going to be phenomenal for you. Now, moving on down, the CPU cooler is a collab we did internally with Cooler Master and ROG. So that's really cool. The nice thing is that the radiator is not, super tall, so it actually fits really nicely into this ITX build. Now, moving down, you can see our RAM. This is G.Skill Trident Z RAM. If you are going with RGB RAM, I mean, you got to go with this. Now, moving on down to the graphics card, this is an Ares Vega 64. So this is a top-of-the-line graphics card from Asus and AMD. Now, you're going to be able to get the same performance from an ROG Strix Vega 64. So don't worry, you choose the Ares card or you choose the ROG card. The performance will be identical. Just depends on you which one you prefer. Now, moving on down to the fans and the power supply unit, these are both from Thermaltake. They have these beautiful ring LED fans, as well as the fan in their power supply right now, and it looks absolutely phenomenal. Now, make sure when you buy to look for the Aura Sync version, and you can actually plug it into your board, and it will sync with the rest of your LED RGB lights. Now, storage. The ROG Strix X470i Gaming actually comes equipped with two M.2 slots, which is great. Now, this is a kind of chassis, an ITX build. You don't really want to be plugging in a whole bunch of big hard drives. You're not really going to have space for that. So having M.2 slots is a huge plus here. All right, guys, last but not least, the chassis. Now, this is an amazing chassis. It's been really fun to work with. It's from Fantech. It's called the Fantech Evolve Shift X. This is a phenomenal product. I mean, really a jaw-dropping chassis. If you're going to go with an ITX build, definitely give this one a look. The cable management is very smart. Word of warning, you do need to check the specs of the case before you buy all your other components. So especially check the AIO, check the PSU size, make sure you have enough routing for all your cables, and don't go too overboard with system fans. All in all, a phenomenal experience building with this chassis, and 10 out of 10 would do it again. All right, guys, that's about all I have for you today. But before I go, if you have an ITX build with ROG hardware inside, I would love to go ahead and share that for you on our official social media channels. So I will put some instructions down in the description below on how you can submit your photos to us. Now, if you like this video, like, comment, or subscribe. Hit the bell for notifications. And yeah, I'm Lucian. This was the ROG Show. I will catch you next time.